Hello everyone, V the Amazing Greek here. This is part one of a two-part series, or mini-series. This is how to make a truncheon. This is going to be weighted in the front. Of course, you know that from the title of the video. I think that's what it says up there. And the second part is going to be how to win a truncheon from V. I'm going to walk you through this. There's going to be not a lot of talking in this one. I'll simply show you the steps I'm doing, how I'm putting this together, what I'm doing, and it will make one of these. What this is a weighted club. I think I've shown this before in a video maybe. It has finger grooves in it for grip. In here we've got metal. It's 3 pieces of plywood glued together with the inside cut out and the weight in there. I'll show you how to do that and what I'm doing. I've had the wood for this project for a while, so this is not my own creation. I looked today, the site that I found it, the guy on YouTube is Weapon Collector, how to make a lead weighted truncheon. And in that video, he doesn't, it's not a video, it's a set of pictures with instructions. So if it's hard to follow what I'm doing here, go there, Weapon Collector, how to lead weighted truncheon. And he shows you how to do that. It's a pretty good video. I think it's in metric and stuff like that, but don't let that stop you. 25.4 millimeters per inch is the conversion if you want to convert that stuff. I think this one is a 17 or 19 incher, and we're going to be making the 24 inch because the plywood's 24 inches by 24 inches, and it'll be a little bit longer, and that's what we're going to make. So let me set up how to cut this, and we'll come right back and we'll get started on making this. Okay everybody, the plywood I'm using is 7/16 thick. Now, since I need 3 layers to make the weapon, I'll have 3 layers, and that is 21/16 thick. So what I'm doing is cutting my strips 21/16, which is 1 5/16 inches. That way, when I glue it together and I go to start shaping it, it will be a square piece of wood, and I can round it out. So that way I don't want the taper like Weapon Collector shows. I want square. So I'm gonna cut strips, and you'll see how to do it. Do not use this tool if you are not familiar with it, using your dads or your big brothers. Get somebody to show you how to use this tool correctly, and always use a push guide so your hand is not in front of the blade. That's 3 strips. cut strips of 1 5/16. I cut a few of these. Like I said, they're 2 inches, 24 inches long, and it'll be like this. I don't know, I might have to shorten that down a little bit. I don't know if that'll be right. And then I also cut some 1 3/4 so I could duplicate the truncheon I do have. Now, yeah, I might have to cut them down. I don't know if that extra 2-3 inches is going to help. Inside of the 1 5/16 cut strips, I have a 3/8 all thread that I'm going to cut a section of it, probably 4 or 5 inches worth. I'm going to trace it out centered here. I'll show you when I do that. And then cut my piece, and it'll drop down right in there. On my 1 3/4, I have a 1/2 inch all thread, and I'll do the same thing. This one I may have to file down or take the grinder and just chop a little bit here, you know, just grind it down so it's flat so it fits in there when I glue it and it's in there. I'm going to do one of these also. I'm going to fill it in, and after I cut the hole, when I go to glue it together, I'm going to try not to put glue on the hole area where you fill with the metal. I'm going to fill it with BBs. I don't know if that'll have a, and I'm not going to completely fill it. If I make a slot this big, I may leave about a 1/2 inch of clearance to see if it makes a difference. And we'll try that as something different to do. Now, people are going to say, oh, you can fill it with lead. I guess you could. I don't have lead. I'm not sure where I would go buy lead. And I don't want to be handling lead. This, it's safe for me to mess with, and this, all that, you know. I have solder that has lead in it. It's like, wear gloves, wash your hands, don't touch your face. So I'm not going to mess with it. There's no point in exposing myself to something, you know. I mean, it's just for a little while, but I'm not going to take that chance. Also, it just happened. I had safety glasses on. I had my ear muffs on. I went to do my shirt. It went right up under my glasses and got in my eyes. So if you're going to dust off this shit, close your eyes, then do it. I had safety glasses on. It didn't help me. So I'm going to trace out where I want to put the metal, and then I'll show you that, how I drill that hole out, and then we'll place the metal inside of the middle tube, and we're about 1/3 of the way done with the construction part of this. Okay, I took some measurements in the 1 5/16 pieces. Use your square if you have one, just to do it easily. 1/2 inch over, set your marks, then make a straight line. 1/2 inch over, and that will accommodate your 3/8 rod. It'll fit right in there. And then I came down 3/4 of an inch to give the tip, let it have some strength. And then I went 5 inches down, and that's how long I'm going to cut the metal rods. In the 1 3/4 truncheon we're making, you come over 5/8 on each side and draw your lines. That'll accommodate your 1/2 inch all thread piece. Again, come down 3/4 of an inch, then 5 inches down, and mark that, and we're going to cut pieces to fit in there. So I'm going to set up on the drill press, and I'll show you. I'll just drill the holes, and then I'll probably jigsaw the rest out. That's the quickest way, and then the metal will fit down right in there. Or the BBs, which however way we want to do that. Alright, so I've got a 3/8 drill in my drill press, and I'm going to put a hole in the beginning part of where my rod's going to go, work my way down, and one at the end. And I've got it set so that it can pass through the wood and through my base. Make sure on these, when they swivel, you don't want to touch down on your the base plate. So I'll do one of them so you can see how I'm doing this. I'm putting multiple holes just so it's easier for the jigsaw to cut through. It'll just pop through these sections. If you wanted to, you could clamp a piece of wood back here so that you just slide it and you know that you're centered up every time. I'm kind of eyeballing it. So if you want it perfect, make you a jig. I'm doing pretty good. Last one. So you can see. Now, one note. See on the back how it splinters a little bit? And wear safety goggles. If you want to avoid this chip away here, put a solid piece of wood down here, like a scrap 2x4 or something, clamp it down, and then when you drill into it, the drill bit is not pushing that material out of the way, it's actually drilling through it, and then it'll be much smoother when you do that. But since I'm going to glue it and stuff, and I'm going to cut that away anyway, I'm not too worried about it. Alright, I'm getting ready to jigsaw out the center of my 1/2" rod holder. I only did the 2 holes. The reason I did the smaller one more holes, because cutting through it, I just thought it would help to relieve any problems I might have. So hell, we'll do one of the small ones first. I used about a medium tooth blade in my jigsaw. I didn't want to get nothing too rough or too fine, then it'll take a while. So it'll fit right in that hole. Alright, and then I'll just do the other side. The little sections fell right out, and then my awl thread should fit right down in there. There we go. If not, I can use a file. Yeah, a little bit of filing here, and that'll fit right in there. I can lay it down, measure, and cut. And again, if you don't know how to use this tool, get someone who knows how to show you. Please do not hurt yourself. It is not worth it. Alright, so I got all the holes set up so they can receive the rods that they need to. Ooh, excuse me. One thing I want to say, if you want to square off these holes here, after you file down the sides, just take the side of your file, just like that, get it flat, and then take you a fine file and knock the burrs, not burrs, but the little stringy pieces of wood when you cut plywood, take those off, because you don't want, when you go to glue this together, you don't want that stuff getting in the way. What I'll probably do is take the sander, just run over here a little bit, just to clean them up, and then basically we are ready to cut the length of our metal rod. Take your non-hole piece, you'll glue, put glue on here, wood glue, you'll set it together, put your metal rod, then you'll glue your other one. And what we're going to do, I'll show you when I glue it, I'm just giving you an overview of how this is going to go together. We'll clamp it down, make sure that we're even on the ends, even here, so we can get it all squared up. And I'm not going to cut the length right now because I don't know how it's going to feel with that metal in there, so I don't want to cut it short and say, man, I wish it would have been longer. I'll mark which end has the metal in it, which really won't have to. You'll be able to feel it, and then I can grab it, see what about the maximum length is, and then I can cut them down to size like that. So that's the next step, is to cut the metal and get it ready to insert into our slot here. And this will be very strong with wood glue. Alright, continuing on. What I've done is measured from the end, this is where the weight is, down 10 inches, made a line all the way across, squared up with the square, then measured to 20 inches, made a line all the way around, then I came in 1/4 inch off all sides and marked, and from that mark on our 20-inch line, used a straight edge to go from there to the angle it from this 1/4 inch, go over till you meet where the line comes to the edge of the wood, then trace out a line there. And what that will do, when we start to shape this, it will, when we do the handle part here, it'll start shaping it down into a taper. See, we'll make this smooth here along the edges, and then at the 10-inch point, we'll start coming in and smoothing it down so we can get our hand around it. Instead of being big like that, make it more comfortable for our hand to fit. So I'm going to clamp it up in the vise, and then I'll show you the tool that I'm going to use to start taking chunks of that wood off. I thought the belt sander would be a good choice, but that will take a while. Alright, here's the tool I'm going to use to shave this. This is called a plane, like airplane, and it has a blade that you can adjust in and out, and adjust how much material you want to take off. You hold it, the forward handle, hold it back here. See? Let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see what that's actually doing here. And this is the next process. This is what takes the time in making these things. If I had a wood lathe, I could put this in there, spin it, and then shape the whole thing. It'd be really quick and nice, but I do not have that equipment. You know, if somebody's a millionaire watching, hey, I could use something like that. See? I found that with the plywood, you do not want to start grabbing big chunks. A little bit at a time. This is a very time-consuming part of the job, so I'm going to start on that and shape this up as best I can. Like I said, this takes the most time out of everything besides waiting for the glue to dry. It's been a while since I made one, and I forgot one thing. When you start using the plane on this, if your ends are just like this,
straight up the way we made it, it will start to grab and pull away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the bench grinder, round this down some so that when I'm coming off, I'm not dragging the end piece here. That happens sometimes because it is plywood the way it's put together. So I just wanted to mention that tip. It's been a while since I've done one of these. So see how it's pulling away right here? Don't want that. So I'm going to put a bevel on this, you know, chamfer it up a little bit, and then hopefully that'll stop some of that. Alright, so after working them on the bench sander, I've gone over them with the palm sander with a 150 grit paper. Smooth them out, they feel really nice. I got a little bitty T on the top of the circular ones so that I know where the weight of it is. And what I'm doing now is I have got one in the bench here, the vise, sorry. And I'm getting ready to put the finger grooves in there. And like this. You guys see that? Yeah. This one has 5, but I'm just going to put 4. When I was doing it, I want to have a different place to put my hand, but it doesn't really need that. And what I'm going to use for that is a rasp like this. It's the flat on one side and a semi part of a circle on the other side, and it works perfect. And I'm just gonna start making one for the pinky at the base and go all the way around. Just zoom you in here a little bit. Put one about right here. I'll trace my finger with a pencil, and I'll start like this, keeping as straight as I can. And once you get on, you really don't even have to go, about that deep. Not even the full depth of this as you go all the way around. And once you get that, give yourself about 1/4 inch. Come over from where your groove is. Come over 1/4 inch. Leave a flat, and we'll do the next one. So I'll start on one. And then when I go to put the second finger groove, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. I just wanted to show you kind of how I'm getting started on this. They're coming together nicely. My wife suggested that when I get done, that I stain them with the stain like that for the Warhammer. Right there, that English chestnut, I think is the name of it. That is a really nice color. So I think that's probably what I'll do to these. Make them look really fancy for you guys. And I can't wait to get them done. Alright, what I did to make sure I get this started straight, I set my square to 2 inches. And coming off the bottom here, made little notches. I have them here, 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 about every ½ inch I put. That way when I'm using the file, I start out straight, and then everything after that will be in line and straight. And I just wanted to show you that if somebody plans on making these. Alright, so we got one finger groove put in here. And of course, finger doesn't sit all the way in, it's just so it doesn't slip. And then what I'm doing is I file some, and then since I'm having to clean this out often, I've got my brush clamped on here. Do like that, it saves me some time. I don't have to pick up the brush and get it ready and all that stuff, so that helps out. Then I'm gonna come over, I'm gonna leave myself a little bit of space here, and I'll just slowly start to get this one going. Make me a small spot and work. Again, this would go a lot easier if I had like a wood lathe or something, but I don't have that. Or some type of small rotary sander. Oh wait, I might be able to use the Dremel. Well, if I had a rotary sander that, you know, you could put different size heads on, then I could take this and simply roll it around and do it. That would be nice. Have put me a stop so that I could that adjusted, and then I could roll it around. It would be just really, really nice. But this is gonna work. It's the best I can do with what I'm working with right now. But that's how I'm doing it. So I got my little groove started, and I'll work my way around, trying to keep my file even with the edge of the last groove I did. And it's just a continuation of that on down the line till you've got all 4 of them. So having the right tools does make it easier and quicker, but there's nothing wrong with doing it old school either. It keeps your mind sharp doing it like that. So it just takes more time, but there's a lot of satisfaction in doing it that way also. So that's my thinking on it. Okay, so the finger grooves are done. I took a piece of 120 strip here, filed like this, you know, all around. Got the outside. Then I noticed my inside finger grooves were still a little bit rough from this file. So I took a strip of this, cut it in half, just peel it, then cut it in half again. And I get this little strip like this, and I can work my way in that finger groove, and it gets nice and smooth. So when I, you know, go to stain it, everything will look good, and it feels good in the hand. Just do like that. It knocks the dust off when I do that. Alright, that way everything's nice and smooth in there. It looks good. It'll feel good in the hand. And please, no comments about how this looks like a sex toy. I noticed that when I turned the camera on. I was like, wow, somebody's going to ask me to make their wife something. And I guess I could, but that's just, yeah. Anyway. So that's how you smooth down the grooves here. And 4 of them. Fingers, just like I said, just it's not going to slip out of your hand. It's pretty good little thing. It's awesome. I think I mentioned this before. Weapon Collector, I believe, is where I got this. I'll do research to let you guys know again in the description and stuff where I actually saw this idea. He didn't go through and make it. He just drew the plans up. But of course, we're going to take it one step further. So that's where I'm at. First one done. Okay, guys, this is the last step. And what I'm getting ready to do is, wow, I'm getting ready to make a hole in here so you can put a lanyard, something like that if you want. I was sitting there thinking, you know, I wasn't going to do it. And then it's like, shit, you're making these for your subscribers. Don't freaking get lazy on the last step. So what I've done is I've made a jig. Let me zoom in, show you what we've got going on here. A little too much. All right. These are the pieces that I cut off when I made the length for these truncheons. Now, I've got it set up so that it fits in here kind of snug, and when I go to drill them, they'll all be at the same length. Stick them in, drill, and everything comes out the same. Now, when drilling these through this, because it is plywood and it's multiple layers of pieces of wood glued together, we want to have a thin scrap piece of shim wood stock to put under, because when you go to drill through the top, it'll eat a little bit, it won't be too bad. When you come out the bottom here, the wood will, the layers will start to splinter and break off. It won't be a nice crisp cut. So we put this scrap piece, put it this way, then I'll rotate, then I've got another one, I'll rotate for all the ones I'm making. That way, when the drill bit is coming down, it goes through our weapon we're making, that wood does not have a chance to break away, and we just drill on through this. That'll make a nice clean drill hole on the back side, and we don't have it splinter and then be kind of deficient looking. So that's what I'm going to do here. Let me put some safety glasses on. You guys keep me in check on that. Every time I don't put them on, you guys call me on it, so that's good. Alright, so that's kind of nice and snug in there. We just barely a little bit of clearance. A little bit at a time. You don't have to force it through. The drill bit works better. Let it cut, release. Cut, release. I can see that the dust that was coming out went from this dark yellow, which is the plywood, to that really white fine dust, which is the shim underneath. And look at that. Look how nice that is. No breakaway. I can sand that now. And by constantly like that, you cut, release, cut, release. You don't heat the bit up, which is more important in metal than wood. And when you come out, you get all this crap out of the way, and the drill bit can work better. So just a little basic drilling there. And I'll do the rest of these and show you the finished product, what I'm going to be giving you guys. Alright, so we have the finished products. We have two different style, well, three actually. Made two of these. This is like the original one I had. Starts off a little wider. They're about 10 inches down here, 10 inches. To the next 10 inches, 20 inches overall, kind of tapers. I was supposed to use the plane to do that. That was going to take forever, about 3 hours or so. So I said, I got the sanding machine, so I went and I bought like a 40 grit sand belt. Man, that made quick work of this. I did, I think, 2-3 of these in one day, shaped them out basically. Then I came in and fine-tuned everything. They've got the lanyard hole, got the finger spaces here, just so this doesn't slip around in your hand. Get a real good grip on it. This one has the BBs in it that we were going to try. You can hear them in there. I don't know if you guys can hear. I can tell that the weight is there. It's not like the steel rod, but it is in there. I might need to see if doing that, maybe some bigger shot or something, get some shotgun shells and cut them open and put the bigger shot in there, you know, and make a bigger space to put them in. But I just wanted to see. So that's one of them. And then, of course,
The other has the steel in there. That's got the good weight to it. Again, did these with the rasp. Showed you guys all that. And then in comparison, we have the round style. I think these turned out pretty good. I like these a lot. These are neat. This did not take that much to make. A little bit less weight to it because of the size rod we used. But we're looking at the same thing here, you know. And this is what I'll be giving you guys. The next video I make here in just a minute will tell which contest I've decided to go with and announce the winner. And then I'll have 3 more to give away. Of course, since I'm going to use their contest, let them choose which style they want. And then the others, depending on how I'm going to judge the contestants of the contest, I'll give those away. So this was not that hard a project. You don't have to have power tools to do this. Like I said, I used the sander, but you can use the plane. And you can do this. It takes a little longer, but you know that's the work you put into it, and you'll be glad you did once you have one. Some glue and some plywood, you got it. So that's how you make a truncheon. Like I said, I did not come up with this idea. I got it from Weapon Collector. He has drawings and shows you step by step on a drawing how to do it and pictures, and I just wanted to show you guys how to do it, you know, live action, you know, whatever. So I hope you got something out of it. I hope you guys make some. If you do, come up with some creative decoration and stuff on these. I mean, these here with the rod in there, I mean, you could take the files and give them all kinds of cool, you know, recesses in here, do all kinds of cool things. You know, you're limited by only your imagination. I would like to see some of these that people make. So those are the 2 styles we made, and you guys watched. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it, learned something, and they're pretty cool. I like them. My wife, she prefers this over the War Club. So, you know. So the only thing I'm going to do now, I'm not going to show it. It's me slinging a paintbrush. I'm going to stain these like I did the handle for the Warhammer, and polyurethane them. It's going to be warm tomorrow, next couple days, and then they can dry. It's been kind of moist and stuff. It takes forever to dry if it's like that. And then I'll give it a week or so for the contest, and everything will be good to go. And we'll start shipping these out to you guys. So, you know, if you make one, let me see in a video response. I'd love to see that. So, I'm the Amazing Greek. Thank you for watching this, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And keep watching. See what comes up next. Thank you. What's yapping?